Yo people, hope you're all doing well and welcome to a new video. In this video, I'll be showing you some things that you can do in Final Fantasy XIV in less than a 2-hour window, which should generate you around 1 million GIL. For the methods that I'll be mentioning, you will need to have a few things unlocked. Number 1, you will need to have your own house or access to an FC house's garden patch. Number 2, you will need a miner or a botanist at level 80+. Number 3, you will need a culinarian or an alchemist at level 90. Number 4, you will need to have any other crafter at level 70+. I would recommend you to have either the weaver or the leather worker or the goldsmith. Number 5, you will need to have access to Shadowbringers areas, and number 6, you will need to have old Charley and Levequests unlocked. So aside from the methods that I will mention in this video, there are some other ways that you can make GIL that won't require any crafting or gathering, but I will cover these in a how to make GIL without crafters or gatherers guide in the future. Also, just bear in mind that as I'm making this video with the objective of showing you how to make 1 mil in less than 2 hours, I'm not going to be mentioning all of the ways that you can make GIL with crafters or gatherers. There are some other methods out there as well, which I've covered in different videos, so feel free to check my channel for those. We want to start off by sending our retainers on a venture. So what you can do here is look at some of the materials accessible to your retainer and look for the ones that you get a high quantity of, but also that sell for a lot. So for me, I usually get the underground spring waters depending on how much they're going for at the time. Usually they sell for around 300 GIL and one retainer will bring back 40 of these within an hour. So if I send 2 of my retainers out to get these, then in 2 hours they will bring me back 160, which should sell for 48k. Next, we're going to go and get our daily treasure map. So every 18 hours, you have a chance to gather 1 treasure map using your botanist or miner. For either of these, you want to head to Fort Job in Lakeland. If you're a miner, then you want to head to this location and hit the rocks until you see a hidden treasure map node. For a botanist, you want to head over this way and just hack away until the map pops. These maps typically sell for around 40k each and should take you no longer than around 5 minutes. Once you've got your map, you can then head over to your house or your FC house. So now we're going to use our garden patches to grow some GIL. So typically I grow glazed nuts or jutes. Jutes take around 7 days to grow and sell for around 25k each. The jute seeds also sell for around 25k each. So by the time 7 days have passed, you should have around 8 jutes to sell and 8 jute seeds to sell. Now, once you have these seeds planted, watering these per day takes less than 2 minutes to do so. Essentially, tending to these daily is generating you 57k per day up until the time of the harvest. If you're planting these from scratch, again it should take you no longer than 5 minutes to plant, water and fertilize them. So now in under 15 minutes, we should now have generated around 145k. Next, we'll be handing in some leave quests. So every day you are given 6 leave allowances, or to be precise, 3 every 12 hours. If you have your culinarian or alchemist level high enough, then you can pick one of these leave quests and go make and hand in the items. So I usually make a stack of these during some free time so that I can just hand them in when the daily allowance comes in. You get around 10k per leave hand-in, so handing in 6 of these will give you 60k. If you're crafting these from scratch, then it should take you no longer than 10 minutes to gather the materials, craft the item and hand it in. This now brings our total up to 205k, which we've generated in around 25 minutes. So now we will focus on some endgame crafting. So depending on if you have your culinarian or alchemist at max level, you'd want to make some raid foods or raid pots. Typically what I do is set aside 30 minutes to an hour for bulk crafting some potions. These can either be the grade 6 tinctures of strength or the tinctures of dexterity. This heavily depends on which one is the most expensive at the time. What I typically do during this time is just watch something on the side or maybe do some work and just semi-AFK craft. I also purchased the mats for these from the market board and I make HQ alkehests so that I can use a shorter macro for the tinctures. In total, in around 1 hour, I can craft anywhere between 225 to 250 pots. Currently, these sell for around 1.5k on average each, so that will generate around 337.5k. Bear in mind that you will have spent a bit on the materials here, especially the Moonlight Aether Sands, so 337k won't all be profit. Nonetheless, this brings our total up to 542k in 1 hour and 25 minutes. This is considering that we have crafted potions for 1 hour. So next, we will focus on some more crafting. However, we will now focus on crafting some quest handing items. I have a video which explains how you can do this, so feel free to give this a watch. The best thing to do is to pick a specific job and focus on making handing items for that particular job. For example, if we use level worker, then currently all of the quest handing items you can make equate to around 300k. The cost to make these are very low, and you just need to make sure that you HQ the item, i.e. high quality. This should take you no longer than 15 minutes to make all of the items and put them up for sale. With this, our total now sits at 842k within 1 hour and 40 minutes. Now, for the last 20 minutes, we'll be focusing on stocking up vendor items and listing them on the market. Believe it or not, people miss out that items can be purchased from shops, so might as well make the most of it. Some items you can make 7k profit per 99 stack, some you can make 20k per 99 stack. So it's a good idea to check some vendors and check the items being sold on the market board and use Universalis. Universalis is basically a website that lets you check market board prices, so it's pretty useful in allowing you to check these prices without having to actually be next to a market board. Vendor flipping can easily generate 100 to 150k or more depending on the items that you find to sell. So if you have another retainer to use, just fill up all of the 20 slots available with vendor gear or vendor materials. Just to show you an example, I bought these mineral waters for 400 GIL for 99, and as you can see, I've sold them for 30k per 99. Easy money. Honestly, I don't know why people still buy stuff off the MB when you can easily just see, if you can buy it from vendors. But at the end of the day, if it's not me making the money, then it's someone else. So might as well be me. Now, bear in mind, some of the stuff that you're going to be putting on a market board, you're going to have to manage them and be undercutting people. Make sure, like I always say, just only undercut people by 1 GIL. Don't be a bitch. And on that note, that brings the video to an end. So I hope that I mentioned some methods in this video that maybe you were not aware of, and even if you were, I hope that I managed to show you how quick that some of these methods were able to be performed. Like I said earlier in the video, I will be making a guide in the future for how you can make GIL solely from just things outside of crafting and gathering, so stay tuned for those. But yeah, I'll see you in a later video. Take care. Peace.